Here, Phoenix, I'm Will, and we're here to bring on the questions. I modified that a little bit.
I know.
So, Miss Phoenix, what question are we bringing in this episode?
What are conspiracy theories?
All right, before we get into all the stuff and things, first of all, we gotta say, find us on all the things, even Apple Podcasts now. It's amazing.
Oh, yeah.
All the links you can watch on YouTube, you can listen on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and numerous other things. I don't even know how many. Castbox. I think I need to put it on TuneIn. But anyway, all the links to all the things. Linktree.com/BOTQS.
Or linktr.ee/BOTQS.
BOTQS.
BOTQS.
You did turn your mic on, right?
Yeah.
We didn't do a mic check before. That we do mic checks any other time. We're not that cool. We'll get there someday.
We've only just started.
We're only 11 episodes in. And the question is, what are conspiracy theories? Now, before we get into all the what's its and who's its about this stuff, what do you know about conspiracy theories? Not just what are some conspiracy theories, but what do you know about conspiracy theories in general?
I mean, a lot of people think some are true, and a lot of people don't think any are true.
My thought on what you said is there's a grain of truth to everything. It really depends on how big that grain is. It's who knows? There's some kind of grain of truth to anything that's like created, like all the crazy government stuff, cover-ups, and such. Now, what conspiracy theories are you aware of? Maybe not in a depth idea of what they are, but what are some conspiracy theories you've heard of?
Definitely flat Earth.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I don't really want to spoil that. The one you've told me about.
Oh, well, yeah, that one. Guess we won't spoil it. Eventually, we would probably do a flat Earth episode. We'll probably do a hollow Earth episode. So, you've never heard of that one?
No. That one just sounds a little dumb.
Flat Earth doesn't.
Well, both of them sound dumb. But flat Earth is more believable than hollow Earth.
Are you sure? Wait until you hear the quote-unquote evidence of hollow Earth.
How do you even prove?
We'll get into it.
Like, we can prove that the Earth isn't flat, but how do you prove that
the Earth isn't hollow?
How do you prove that the Earth is hollow?
Well, Admiral Byrd flew into hollow Earth, allegedly, from the North Pole, and he flew out of the South Pole.
Huh?
We will get into it once we ask, what is hollow Earth? Who put it there?
Not burn up from the core of the Earth, let alone the outer core.
You're just repeating things the scientists have told you. This whole hot core business. You might be convinced. We'll get into it. You know any other ones?
I don't know.
Nothing you can think of right now?
Not really. My main one is just flat Earth.
JFK stuff?
The Illuminati.
The Illuminati's a thing.
That was around for a while. Really?
All right. I mean, that's fine. You were totally fresh to almost all of it, which is good. That's the point of this episode, is to ask what are conspiracy theories. to learn what they are, how to parse out the BS. We know what that word means.
Yeah.
Or those letters mean. And try to get into why people are leaning towards whatever. Moon landing hoax. Ever heard of that one?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So here we go. We were almost going to jump right into a pretty deep conspiracy theory that we've only teased so far, but we decided to ask what they are before getting into one, just like we did with cryptids. What are cryptids? And then we get into the cryptids. This is just kind of flowing through stuff because my thought is we'll ask what conspiracy theories are, then we'll do a conspiracy theory episode, go a couple episodes, not done that exactly. Maybe we'll throw in a cryptid, and then we'll pick up again with some other conspiracy theory, or we will start leaning into true crime stuff. We're all over the place, man. We're not just picking one thing.
Or even mythology.
Oh yeah, like the Norse creation myth, legend, story.
Ancient Greek, Roman, Chinese, Egyptian, Mesopotamian, Sumerian.
I want to hit them all. Those are all the big hits. And eventually all this stuff is going to come together and we're going to be like, hey, that thing happened. The same time that thing happened. There's a weird thing that has been going around the last couple of years that said the way things happened in history, that Abraham Lincoln could have faxed one of the last samurai. What? So all those things were happening around the same time.
I guess, because...
Sort of. Like it's theoretical that something like that could happen. So a fax machine, very rudimentary ideas of fax machines were happening when Lincoln was still alive. And the samurai were coming to the end of their era, existence, domination, whatever. Fascinating.
Mm-hmm.
But all that will culminate into a thing after we learn. Like, just learn more and we'll be able to tie a bunch of things together. Mm-hmm. Then you can come up with your own conspiracy theories.
Maybe.
Knowledge is power. All right. So we talk about flat Earth, hollow Earth. Can't have both, or can you? Moon landing hoax. You know, all the hits. Conspiracy theories, explanations that posit secret plots by powerful groups as the underlying cause of significant events, have increasingly permeated modern society. Once relegated to the fringes, these theories now exert considerable influence on public opinion and political discourse worldwide. This shift from marginal beliefs to mainstream narratives signifies a notable change in societal dynamics, potentially linked to the proliferation of information through digital platforms and a growing skepticism towards established institutions. We are living in an age of information. All the information at our fingertips. Mm-hmm. I mean, that is quite literal. There it is. You don't have to go to the library and hunt it down. You don't have to go to a bunch of libraries to hunt it down. You can just look stuff up on the internet and be like, hey, that thing connects to that thing. That's crazy. Events such as Watergate scandal, events such as the Watergate scandal, have historically contributed to a decline in public trust, potentially fostering an environment where explanations challenging official accounts gain traction. We could do an episode on the Watergate scandal. That is something that actually happened, and then that definitely didn't help people not believe in conspiracy theories, because that was too much government reach. It happened. They did it, for sure. They got caught. It wasn't just somebody like blowing a whistle, be like, hey, there's somebody over there, and then there wasn't somebody over there. That stuff happened. And the government did it on purpose. That's a problem. Right? So if the government's going to do it on purpose, how are you going to trust them?
Yeah. And that's why people are like, don't trust the government lies.
Right. There's been evidence of them lying.
Yeah.
But, you can only go so far down that rabbit hole.
Yeah.
You got to look at all the parts. Conspiracy theories, there's a lot of problems with just looking at one part. And we'll talk about echo chambers in a little while here.
It's like an ant hill. Like an ant hole hill. Where ants live. There's a bunch of different rooms and chambers through one tunnel.
Yeah. You're just getting all the information from one spot. We'll talk about it. The potential ramifications of widespread belief in conspiracy theories are significant, encompassing societal polarization and the incitement of political violence and the erosion of civic trust.
Is like the Y2K, like all the computers like exploding or something? Is that a conspiracy theory?
It was a conspiracy theory until it didn't happen.
Yeah.
I was there.
I know.
I was born in the 1900s. It's crazy. The idea with the Y2K thing is it was some sort of, somebody had a crazy idea that so the computers were more, I might be getting this wrong, more binary. So they were only reading the last 2 years of the year. It wasn't 19 something. It was just, now it's 96, now it's 97, now it's 98, now it's 99. Oh no, what's going to happen when the speedometer, when the odometer flips over? It's just going to go all back to zeros. The computer's going to freak out, and it's going to think it's 1900, and everything's going to shut off. People were flipping. And looking back on it, it's like, really? No.
Like if they thought it was 1900, then it would have been thinking it was 1899.
Could be. So if the date was wrong, it was January 1st, 1900, then certain systems wouldn't work correctly. It didn't happen.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead, read the next one.
Defining a conspiracy theory involves recognizing several key characteristics identified across academic sources. At its core, a conspiracy theory offers an explanation for an event or situation by asserting the existence of a conspiracy, typically orchestrated by powerful and often politically motivated groups with sinister intentions. These explanations often emerge as attempts to comprehend notable events by attributing responsibility to a clandestine plot carried out by influential individuals or groups. This conviction frequently involves the belief that a collective of actors has secretly agreed to pursue a malevolent objective.
Here's the next one.
When we say actors, we don't mean television or movie celebrities specifically. Those TV or movie people are frequently mentioned in some context in some theories, but actors in this context really means the people that are involved in whatever conspiratorial event.
So there's the actor Tom Hanks.
Mm-hmm.
One of the recent ones that his name is involved in is he's a nice guy in public, but he's a very bad guy when he's not on camera. As in hurting people, kids, stuff like that. But there's zero evidence anywhere to contribute to that idea. And that was a conspiracy theory, or it still is a conspiracy theory because he's still alive, so there's no evidence. And that was an actor who was involved in it, but the actors for this are the political personalities for things that can happen. They're in the limelight, they're in the public eye, but are they acting in the best interest of everybody, or are they just putting on a face and hiding what they're actually doing when the doors close. It's interesting. Something to think about.
Yeah. Also, talking about like actors and stuff makes me think of it's either a conspiracy theory or just a theory that I'm pretty sure Apple doesn't want like bad guys in movies using Apple phones.
I think that's true. I'm pretty sure that's true. And I think that goes for some. It was definitely for Sony with PlayStation for a while too. They didn't want to see. I think they just started talking about it, and there's a movie called Superbad, and the kid in it, Jonah Hill, was the actor, and he was a super jerk in the movie, and they didn't want him touching a PlayStation control when the PlayStation was in the scene for the movie, because they didn't want the character, this bad character, to be associated with their games. It's not a conspiracy theory. That's marketing at its finest.
Mm-hmm.
Furthermore, conspiracy theories can be defined as narratives that describe the covert and malevolent plans and actions of a powerful group as the primary cause of an event or state of affairs. A defining feature of such theories is their tendency to contradict the prevailing consensus held by experts qualified to assess their accuracy. The structure of a conspiracy theory typically includes a group of conspirators operating in secrecy with a shared, often nefarious goal. These theories are frequently characterized by a strong emotional component and a resistance to being disproved. The alleged conspirators often comprise powerful entities such as societal leaders, governmental bodies, influential industries, or stigmatized minority groups. It's very interesting. So, there's a lot of stuff about the pandemic stuff. People had so much time on their hands about all the COVID-19 stuff. So, the people don't want to believe the experts anymore. Regular people don't want to believe the experts in that field anymore because there has been truth to the lies that they have told. There's evidence that things should not have gone the way they did. And that creates a distrust. And thus, it creates a deeper conspiracy. And if they're doing it for that thing that's in the public eye, what are they doing that's behind closed doors, behind the curtain? There's a lot of things to think about, but you can't take everything for face value. A lot of people do. You have to look at all the sides.
I can't believe everything you see on the internet.
There's an old saying that my parents used to say: believe none of what you hear and only half of what you see.
I've heard that before.
Yeah, I only see half anyway.
I'm not sure if I really get it though.
Believe none of what you hear and half of what you see?
Yeah.
I think it's more of telling you to look deeper, to ask questions about what's going on. I mean, you read the headline, you're like, that's crazy, but why did that thing happen? Who set that thing in motion? A few years ago, as an April Fool's joke, one of the local papers had put in the newspaper that a shark was found in the Susquehanna River up here. And I was like, well, no, hold on. People believe that on the surface. They're like, oh, that's crazy. A shark in the river up here, and they don't think about it. First of all, it's freshwater, far from any salt water in this area.
Yeah.
And the other thing is, there's a bunch of dams between us and the ocean along the bodies of water.
Yeah.
There is no way a shark could get up here unless somebody put it there.
Plus, the shark would probably be already dead.
Right. So.
Because it wouldn't survive because it needs that amount of salt content.
Right. So you have to do critical thinking whenever anything comes up. Almost anything comes up. All this political stuff. Anything they say, you have to do your thinking. You have to do critical thinking about everything.
Do some background work in there.
Yeah. Look beyond the headlines. Important. God, it's important. So important. It is important to distinguish conspiracy theories from misinformation, which is the unintentional spread of false information, and disinformation, which is deliberately disseminated with the intent to deceive. Let's read that again and try to understand that. Excuse me. It is important to distinguish conspiracy theories from misinformation, which is the unintentional spread of false information, and disinformation, which is deliberately disseminated with the intent to deceive.
Misinformation is you didn't mean to do that.
Right.
But disinformation is you did mean to do that.
You meant to spread the false stuff.
It's kind of like how you can be charged with like manslaughter, which is you didn't mean to kill that person, but murder is you did plan on killing that person.
That's why there's multiple degrees of manslaughter.
Yeah. Like, because in our book, The Outsiders, their one character accidentally killed someone else, so he would be charged with manslaughter if he wasn't in the hospital.
But he was in the hospital.
Well, currently he's in a hospital. Back broken.
Oh.
They're burning timber.
You done with the book yet?
No.
Oh. You don't have much time to go. There's not a whole lot of school days left.
I know.
All right.
I'm not the one who's reading it.
The teacher?
Yeah, she reads it to us.
Oh, okay.
No.
Well, hopefully she can get done in the next 9 days or however you got left.
Yeah.
Misinformation comes from someone spreading wrong information without knowing it's wrong. So, for instance, if someone shares a social media post saying drinking hot lemon water cures COVID-19 and genuinely believes that's true, that's misinformation.
It also reminds me of when we learned in health, back in like 3rd grade or something, about drug use, misuse, and abuse. Drug use is you're using the whatever correctly. Drug misuse is you didn't know that you're using it incorrectly, but you are. And drug abuse is you're intentionally using that drug and like, badly.
For the side effects. Just for the side effects. Not for your medical issues as prescribed, but beyond
Or like
the prescription.
because chocolate has this drug. Chocolate is a drug, I guess.
Got caffeine in it.
Yeah. So if you're eating chocolate to eat chocolate, that's just drug use. For a little sweet treat.
There's so many drug users in the world then.
I'm not abusing them.
Disinformation comes from someone spreading wrong information knowing full well that it's wrong. For example, if Grammy K tells customers at a bake sale that Barb's brownies are too cakey because she uses self-rising flour, but she actually knows for a fact Barb doesn't do that because they were in the same kitchen making their baked goods, that's a disinformation Grammy K wanted to deceive.
You had to use that?
Sure, why not? We know a Grammy K.
We do.
I couldn't think, well, it's not that I couldn't think of anybody else, but it was fun to do that.
Well, at least you didn't use my own grandmother. So I would have wouldn't have mind if you used the other one. I wouldn't have mind.
Read the next part.
While some conspiracy theories may appear theoretically
Theoretically.
Theoretically possible, others are highly implausible when examined through the lens of logic or scientific knowledge. The various definitions of conspiracy theories reveal a consistent focus on secret plots and powerful actors, though there are differing perspectives on the likelihood of such explanations and the negative connotations associated with the term. Some secrecy and shared goals.
Some definitions.
Some definitions adopt a more neutral stance, focusing on the core elements of conspiracy, secrecy, and shared goals, while others inherently suggest a lower probability compared to alternative explanations. The evolution of the term itself indicates a growing association with irrationality and marginalization.
So what that means, the marginalization part is higher class versus middle versus lower class versus even less than that. And so the different groups of people feel like they're being pushed away, pushed down more from the higher classes. And so conspiracy is born. It is crucial to differentiate between conspiracy theories and actual conspiracies. A conspiracy, in the simplest form, refers to any secret plan involving two or more individuals. In contrast, the term conspiracy theory denotes hypothesized conspiracies that possess specific characteristics, often extending to a broader scope and lacking verifiable evidence. Real conspiracies, even relatively simple ones, face considerable challenges in remaining concealed and frequently encounter unforeseen complications. Conspiracy theories, however, often portray conspiracies as unrealistically successful, suggesting that groups of conspirators can operate with near-perfect competence and secrecy. When proven to be factual, covert plans are typically categorized as investigative journalism or historical analysis rather than conspiracy theories. The Watergate scandal serves as a notable example of a real conspiracy that, once uncovered and substantiated, became a matter of historical record. So the whole flat Earth thing, they have flat earthers have a lot of explaining to do around why it's flat. When scientists throughout history, I guess, so we're told, right, have proven round Earth, proven globe, time and time again. Before telescopes and all that, the powers that be believed it was flat. And they looked out across the ocean and there's nothing over there, so don't go over there because then you just fall off the Earth. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Don't go over there.
Yes.
I don't care if you're looking for spices. Don't go over there.
Are you talking about the English?
Yeah.
They stole all the spices.
Yeah. That's a mess.
Except for when it comes to beans. They will use a little bit of spice.
On beans?
Just a tiny bit though. Just a little bit of salt and a tiny bit of pepper. Or else it's too spicy for them.
You're crazy. Conspiracy theories. Conspiracy theories, conversely, often lack such definitive proof and tend to expand into more extensive and less substantiated narratives. The term conspiracy theory itself carries a significant negative connotation in both academic and public discourse. It is frequently portrayed as a negative phenomenon associated with misinformation and a lack of trust in experts and institutions. Expressions like, "this is just a conspiracy theory," are commonly used to dismiss certain theories as unfounded rumors or speculations. Consequently, few individuals are willing to apply the label conspiracy theory to their own beliefs. Recognizing this evaluative aspect, some scholars propose using the term conspiratorial explanation to refer to the purely descriptive concept of a conspiracy theory. The negative framing of the term suggests a potential bias in discussions about these theories, possibly impeding objective analysis and critical evaluation. So, as soon as something is like, well, that just sounds like a conspiracy theory to me, we're not going to talk about it anymore.
It's just
People shut it down.
dismissing any sort of curiousness.
Yeah. Sounds like a conspiracy theory. We're not going to look into it. Done. Good. Conspiracy theories?
Conspiracy theories are not a recent development, but have deep historical roots, appearing across various cultures and time periods. Evidence indicates their presence from ancient times, with examples such as theories surrounding the death of the Roman Emperor Nero in 68 AD, where some believed he had faked his death to secretly plot his return to power. Throughout the Middle Ages, conspiracy theories also flourished, notably the false accusation that Jewish people spread the Black Death by poisoning wells, and various plots surrounding the figures like Richard II of England.
I don't know too much about those things myself. I've never dug into those deeply, but we will.
The conspiracy theory about the Roman Emperor Nero reminds me of the conspiracy theory, I think is what it is, about how Michael Jackson faked his death.
And that is a conspiracy theory. And he faked his death.
I think I know more conspiracy theories than
you thought before?
Yeah. Because I'm slowly remembering things that I have heard.
Believe none of what you hear.
Like, I have heard people saying before, but I didn't really believe it.
I don't remember what year he died. Did he die before you were born?
I think so.
We have the power of the internet at our fingertips.
Yep.
The age of information. June 25th, 2009. 4 years before you were born.
Dang.
And you know a lot about him because he was the king of pop.
Yeah.
Go ahead, read the next part.
The term conspiracy theory itself emerged in the mid-19th century, with its earliest known usage in 1863 by American author Charles Astor Bristed, who used it to describe claims that British aristocrats were intentionally weakening the United States during the Civil War. Initially, the term did not carry the strong negative connotations it possesses today. Serious scholarly interest in conspiracy theories began in the post-World War II era. The modern manifestation of these theories appears to have taken shape during the transition from the early modern period to the Enlightenment.
A lot of things. So many things came out of World War II. Yeah. Operation Paperclip. Not a conspiracy.
What?
That happened. You know what I mean? You don't know about Operation Paperclip? Oh, yeah, we'll get into that.
Okay. Well,
Unit 731. Now that is dark. And it would almost be classified as true crime, in my opinion. It's bad. Maybe we'll do some kind of series on the stuff that happened. I mean, like a historical series leading up to World War II, during World War II, after World War II. We had the nuclear bombs then. 731 was crazy. Operation Paperclip, and then not that long in history, was longer to those people, but not that long in history after World War II. We went to the moon. Maybe that's when we could do the hoax of the moon landing hoax. Lead up to that. That'd be fun. All right. Historically, conspiracy theories have been closely intertwined with prejudice, propaganda, witch hunts, wars, and genocides, highlighting their potential for harm. In the late 20th and early 21st centuries, conspiracy theories became increasingly prevalent in mass media, the internet, and social media, evolving into a significant cultural phenomenon. The enduring presence of conspiracy theories throughout history suggests that they are not merely a contemporary issue, but rather a recurring aspect of human societies, often reflecting and amplifying existing societal anxieties and prejudices. The tendency to seek explanations for significant events, particularly during times of crisis, appears to be a fundamental human trait that conspiracy theories often attempt to satisfy.
The formation and widespread acceptance of conspiracy theories are driven by a complex interplay of psychological factors. These motivations can be broadly categorized as epistemic, existential, and social. Epistemic motives relate to the desire for understanding, accuracy, and subjective certainty about one's environment. Conspiracy theories often emerge when information is scarce or contradictory, or when events seem random and inexplicable. These theories offer comprehensive and internally consistent explanations that can help individuals maintain their beliefs in the face of uncertainty and contradiction.
So they're intentionally contradicting what is being told to them, and then they're talking to the same people that believe there's a contradiction. That's what I got out of it. Existential motives involve the need to feel safe, secure, and in control of one's surroundings. When these fundamental needs are threatened, individuals may turn to conspiracy theories as a way to regain a sense of control by rejecting official narratives and embracing alternative accounts. Social motives encompass the desire for belonging and to maintain a positive image of oneself and one's social group. Conspiracy theories can attribute blame for negative outcomes to external entities, thereby preserving the image of the self and the in-group as competent and moral, yet victimized by powerful and unscrupulous forces. Belief in conspiracy theories is also linked to various cognitive biases. Proportionately, bias leads individuals to believe that significant events must have substantial causes, making simple explanations seem inadequate. Confirming bias drives people to seek out and interpret information in a way that confirms their pre-existing beliefs while disregarding contradictory evidence. So, a lot of times, people don't want to believe the simplest answer. Occam's razor. The simplest solution is the best solution. But with conspiracy theories, the things that people are told, they don't want to believe because that's too easy.
Mm-hmm. Especially after people are conditioned not to believe the simple answer.
Right. Like there's a landmass in the southern hemisphere, the very south pole of the world, and it's mostly covered in ice. But flat earthers believe there's an ice wall surrounding the edges of ye old flat earth. And now there's an entire global group telling people there's not an ice wall. Don't go to Antarctica, but there's not an ice wall. What are you talking about? We have to tell everybody there's has to be so many people working together to convince people that there's not an ice wall. That's a globe.
I have heard of that conspiracy theory.
And it's funny. And all right, what's beyond the ice wall? You gotta know, we have helicopters. Can't you go over the ice wall? Helicopters aren't real.
and fly a plane. The Wright brothers made it for a reason.
Yeah. You want to take that next one?
Sure. Certain personality traits such as strong reliance on intuition, feelings of antagonism and superiority towards others, and a tendency to perceive threats in the environment have also been associated with a greater likelihood of believing in conspiracy theories. Feelings of social exclusion, a perceived threat to one's status, or lower socioeconomic status can also contribute to the propensity to believe in conspiracies. Furthermore, a lack of trust in authorities can create an environment where alternative explanations, including conspiracy theories, are more readily accepted. These psychological factors underscore that the inclination towards conspiracy theories often stems from the fundamental human needs and cognitive processes, particularly as a response to uncertainty and perceived threats. These theories can provide a sense of order and meaning in a complex world. Offer a feeling. Is that supposed to be often?
No. These theories can provide a sense of order and meaning in a complex world, offer a feeling of control during chaotic times, and foster social bonds among believers.
However, they can also lead to disempowerment, increased anxiety, and vulnerability to manipulation.
The emergence and spread of conspiracy theories are also significantly shaped by socio-cultural influences. These theories tend to proliferate during periods marked by significant anxiety, uncertainty, hardship, such as wars, economic depressions, and in the aftermath of natural disasters and pandemics. They often arise from social anxieties and a fundamental desire to comprehend complex phenomena. Historically, conspiracy theories have influenced public opinion and even the outcomes of elections. In some instances, those in positions of power have utilized conspiracy theories to justify the persecution of targeted groups. Oh, you going to take it?
Sure. The specific content and prevalence of conspiracy theories can vary significantly across cultures, reflecting distinct cultural narratives, political ideologies, and historical experiences. The advent of technological advancements and the widespread use of social media platforms have profoundly amplified the reach and adaptability of conspiracy theories. Algorithms designed to maximize user engagement can inadvertently promote sensational and emotionally charged content, often prioritizing conspiracy theories over fact-based information. The interplay between societal conditions and technological advancements is crucial in understanding the current landscape of conspiracy theories.
Crises often create a fertile ground for their initial emergence, as people seek explanations for unsettling events. Subsequently, technology facilitates their rapid dissemination and reinforcement within online communities, potentially leading to the formation of echo chambers where these beliefs are amplified and rarely challenged. Let's speak on echo chambers for a minute or two. An echo chamber is an environment, usually found on social media or in group discussions, where a person only encounters information or opinions that echo and reinforce their own beliefs. In an echo chamber, opposing viewpoints are minimized or ignored. Ideas are repeated and amplified, often creating the illusion that they are universally accepted or unquestionably true. It can lead to polarized thinking and make it harder for people to understand or engage with different perspectives. Echo chambers can form unintentionally, especially due to algorithms that show you content similar to what you've already liked or interacted with.
Mm-hmm.
So that it more so forms online. Well, it's very prominent online now. You can also get an echo chamber going if you have a like-minded group of, say, a bowling team. You got your bowling team together, and all these guys believe in this one thing, or there's enough guys that convince others that that thing is true.
Like a technique on how to bowl and how to win.
If you can cheat the system like that, sure.
Yeah.
But if you got a bowling team, a bowling league, and they call themselves the Flat Earthers, what do you think those guys think about?
Flat Earth.
Right.
Just take
I
a
know
bowling
we're
ball.
really poo-pooing on Flat Earth stuff, but I mean, it's easy to poo-poo on them because it's, I mean, there's a lot of stuff that you can be convinced that it's flat, but still so much to be convinced it's not flat.
Earth is easy to poo-poo on because it's been disproved time and time again.
Flat Earthers have also disproved flat Earth with their own experiments trying to prove flat Earth.
And in the really early times of science, astrology, the theory was that the Earth was the center of the system, and the sun, the moon, and all the other planets rotated around the Earth. But then Galileo came along, and other scientists came along, which the first one was Aristotle, who came up with the heliocentric model. Or no, geocentric.
Geocentric.
And then I forget his name, but there was one who came before.
Copernicus?
But he died before he could be sent to jail. Because he wrote a book, I'm pretty sure, on the heliocentric model and how he believed that.
Oh, yeah. Don't be, see, in the old times, spreading misinformation or disinformation got you jail time.
Even just going against the Bible at all.
Right. That's treasonous.
Everyone believed the Bible, and Aristotle wrote the geocentric model on how the moon, the sun, and all the other planets, and not even Neptune was known of. That was the only planet known to, found with mathematical way. I know that because I did a project on Neptune.
Nice.
Yeah. But still, there is so many scientists, and Galileo was sent, he was on house arrest, and he could not write a book on the heliocentric model. So
he wrote one on geocentric.
He secretly wrote one.
Oh.
Because he also had a student that also believed that that believed him and helped him write the book. And on his final day, he finished the book, and then his student went to Germany where all the ideas were accepted, and the book was published, and that's how we got heliocentric.
Nice. Now we know. See, he had to go behind people's backs. It was all conspiracy. That was a time that idea was conspiratorial.
And no one liked anyone who went against the Bible.
No. That was treason.
You could be punished by death.
Traitor.
I mean, I'm pretty sure Copernicus was supposed to be sent to jail, but he died before he could be sent to jail. So.
He got out of it.
There was a video that we watched in science. It was about Galileo, and he had went to Rome when he was young to show his idea, explain his idea and become a teacher there. because you're allowed to teach not by the book, but you're allowed to say your own ideas. Where he lived, he wasn't allowed. So we went to Rome, where one of the principals, I think, which eventually became a pope, or something like that. And once he was sentenced about that, the pope he didn't send him to jail, but sent, like, the pope that he knew, because there was this one guy who was against him. He told the pope about him writing a book, because he had written a book before and it was very popular.
Okay.
So he wrote a book, and then the other teacher where he used to teach at, the one other teacher who didn't like him at all, had showed the Pope the book. So he went to court and he was sentenced to house arrest, and he was also told that he could not write another book. But he went against the law and secretly did it, and as soon as he finished the book, he had died. Like, when he was finished with that last page, he died. So,
like it was meant to happen.
So his student had called, like, guards and told them that he had died. But he had also sent a trap so that it would look like, I'm pretty sure it would look like there was a burglar, but it would create a distraction for him to get out and flee to Germany.
Nice.
And then publish the book.
That's awesome. Good. Pursuit of knowledge.
Yeah. The more knowledge I remember, the clearer my brain gets.
And the better you can come up with your own conspiracy theory. Or not. It's true.
I mean, this might already be a conspiracy theory, but I feel like female gene companies, like women's genes companies, or just gene companies that make women's genes, and purse companies, and make women's pockets teeny tiny that they can't even fit a simple thing.
Shallow pockets.
Or fake pockets.
That's a big purse. They're making tiny pocket jeans to sell more purses.
And bigger purses, so more material equals more money to make more purses.
Now you're thinking outside the box.
It's just...
All right. Evolutionary perspectives.
Evolutionary perspectives offer another lens through which to understand the origins of conspiratorial thinking. One hypothesis, known as the byproduct hypothesis, suggests that conspiracy beliefs are an unintended consequence of psychological mechanisms that evolved for other purposes, such as pattern recognition, agency detection, and threat management and alliance detection.
Another perspective, the adaptive conspiracism hypothesis, posits that conspiracy thinking is an evolved feature of the human mind that helped ancestral humans detect potentially dangerous coalitions and respond appropriately. In early human societies where survival depended on group cohesion and vigilance against external threats, the ability to quickly identify potential conspiracies could have provided a significant adaptive advantage. The potential cost of failing to detect a genuine threat, a false negative, was likely much higher than the cost of mistakenly perceiving a threat that did not exist, a false positive. This imbalance in costs may have led to an evolutionary predisposition towards being suspicious of unfamiliar groups and attributing negative events to their intentional actions. These evolutionary perspectives suggest that the human tendency to believe in conspiracies might be deeply rooted in our ancestral past, where accurately assessing the intentions of others was critical for survival. This foundational inclination helps explain the widespread nature of conspiracy theories across different cultures and throughout history. Several conspiracy theories have gained significant notoriety and widespread belief. And here are 5 major examples. We've already talked about some of them. You take one, I take one, you take one?
Sure. The moon landing hoax. This theory claims that the Apollo moon landings, which occurred between 1969 and 1972, were elaborately staged by NASA, possibly with the involvement of other organizations. Which I have heard about this one, and people have questioned, how does it have wind? How is the flag flapping in the wind? That it was a metal bar in there. To make it look like.
To make the wave?
Yeah, to make it look like it was flapping in the wind.
Okay. Okay, I'll buy into that one.
Yeah.
But how did the President of the United States talk to somebody that was on the lander on the moon, on the landline from the White House?
With microphones in the suits. So then they could communicate with each other and people back on Earth.
But they were treating it as though it was live and in time. Yes, radio frequency travels at the speed of light, but it takes a minute to get to the moon.
I don't know that one.
We got to think about it. We'll have to dig into that one. All right, number 2. 9/11 conspiracy theories. A multitude of theories challenge the widely accepted account that Al-Qaeda was solely responsible for the terrorist attacks on September 11th, 2001. There's so many theories that it was not those guys. We just blamed them because they needed to be blamed for something. We'll touch on that too. There's also a crazy theory that Mothman was there at the towers. I know.
Are you sure no one was just crazy out of their mind and looking at a dismantled
plane? There was a lot
plane?
of crazy out of the mind stuff that day.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I bet people in New York were freaking out.
Right. Because Mothman was there.
Was the Jersey Devil there too?
No, he had other things to do.
Like
Jersey Devil stuff.
Eating people?
Maybe. Maybe he took the day off. It was September. He was on vacation.
Maybe he was preparing for October.
He went to Ocean City that day.
He went to the beach. Had to get that nice deep red tan.
He wasn't in the Pine Barrens that day.
Nope. He was out in Wildwood having a tan. In the ripe age of September. The assassination of John F. Kennedy. The assassination of President John F. Kennedy in November 1963 remains the subject of intense scrutiny and has spawned a multitude of conspiracy theories alleging the involvement of various individuals and groups beyond the officially named assassin, Lee Harvey Oswald.
So many things. The New World Order conspiracy theory. This pervasive theory posits the existence of a secretly emerging totalitarian world government orchestrated by a shadowy elite. And that's one of the things that people think about, that there's too many moving parts. There would have to be so many people in higher positions that have incredibly inflated egos to be working together to have a new world order. It doesn't make sense unless it does. Unless that's what they want everybody to think. Just keep twisting it. All right, go ahead.
The Flat Earth Theory. Contrary to centuries of scientific evidence and direct observation, the Flat Earth Theory asserts that the Earth is a flat disk, possibly surrounded by an ice wall at its edges rather than a sphere.
We'll get hardcore into that one at some point.
We already have gone hardcore into it.
Can they both happen? Can flat Earth and hollow Earth happen at the same time?
I mean, how would you get hollow if it's flat?
But how flat is it really?
If
Is
it's
it like it? Is it like an iceberg where it's flat on top and then it's like a cone?
then it wouldn't be flat, it would be cone shaped.
Well, the top's flat wherever the top's flat where everybody is, unless it's turtles all the way down. Flat Earth is on the back of a turtle. No, never heard that one either.
I think I don't know.
Mind blown. We'll keep going. Conspiracy theories represent a complex and multifaceted phenomenon that has persisted throughout history and continues to shape contemporary society. They arise from a confluence of individual psychological needs, prevailing societal anxieties, and the influence of cultural narratives. The historical record reveals that conspiracy theories are not a novel invention, but have been a recurring feature of human attempts to understand significant events, often intensifying during times of crisis. Psychological motivations, including the desire for understanding, safety, and belonging, play a crucial role in the formation and maintenance of these beliefs. Sociocultural factors, such as the level of trust in institutions and the accessibility of information, also significantly impact the prevalence and nature of conspiracy theories.
I do want to talk about what I think is another conspiracy theory that we can get kind of deep into.
Okay?
Well, not too deep, but deep enough.
All right.
It's about Anne Hathaway and her boyfriend or husband or just current partner,
Okay.
which,
You're talking about that in this episode?
like Anne Hathaway.
You want to
Yeah.
talk about whatever you're talking about?
Yeah.
Okay.
So Anne Hathaway has a partner who looks just like William Shakespeare. And William Shakespeare's wife was named Anne Hathaway. And Anne Hathaway was born in, like, William's wife was born in 1582, or I think so.
Okay.
And then today Anne Hathaway was born in 1982.
400 years later.
Yeah, their 400-year anniversary. And Anne Hathaway looks like Anne Hathaway, William Shakespeare's wife.
That's good. Never heard of that one. But there's a lot of doppelganger stuff out there because, so we're told, allegedly, that there's only so many face shapes at this point in human evolution, which is totally fascinating. I don't know the number for sure, but I thought I heard on other podcasts that I listened to that there's only 7 basic face shapes. And then the rest, like the structure, but then the rest would be up to your diet or your skin conditions and the external conditions. But generally, you can have multiple people that look alike that are not related at all.
It's their bone structure of their face.
That roll of DNA is going to happen again. But it is totally fascinating that there are so many people, like Keanu Reeves stuff, even Facebook guy, Mark Zuckerberg.
Why we have stunt doubles, because it's people who look basically
Mostly
like them.
Yeah.
But they're just slightly different, and sometimes you can notice it.
Yeah, movie mistakes. The end of tapes. Evolutionary perspectives suggest that a predisposition towards conspiratorial thinking may have been advantageous in our ancestral past. The 5 major examples discussed, the moon landing hoax, 9/11 conspiracy theories, the JFK assassination, the New World Order, and the flat earth theory, illustrate the diverse range of topics that conspiracy theories can address and the varying degrees of plausibility they possess. A recurring theme across these examples is a fundamental distrust in official explanations and established authorities. The rise of the internet and social media has undeniably transformed the landscape of conspiracy theories, facilitating their rapid spread and the formation of online communities that reinforce these beliefs. Go ahead.
While some research suggests that the overall belief in conspiracy theories might not have increased dramatically over time, their visibility and potential impact have certainly amplified in the digital age. Ultimately, understanding conspiracy theories requires recognizing the intricate interplay of individual psychology, societal context, and cultural narratives that contribute to the enduring appeal and significance in shaping societal beliefs, anxieties, and behaviors. While some conspiracy theories may seem harmless, others can have detrimental consequences, fostering prejudice, inciting violence, and eroding trust in essential institutions. Therefore, cultivating critical thinking skills and promoting media literacy are crucial for navigating the complex information landscape and discerning between credible explanations and unsubstantiated claims.
Yep. Think about that. Therefore, cultivating critical thinking skills and promoting media literacy are crucial for navigating the complex information landscape and discerning between credible explanations and unsubstantiated claims. Think for yourself. Do your own research.
Take background knowledge.
Look beyond the headlines. Read between the lines. This thing happened. Why did that thing happen? Who was involved in that thing?
Did it actually happen?
Is there money involved? That's a very big part of a lot of stuff, is how much money people are making. Like the whole green energy thing. Great idea. Not executing it very well. Yet. Not doing too good. Because the Tesla is still made out of mostly plastic and it's using non-renewable resources. Lithium.
Plastic and metal.
Right. Hardly recyclable, non-renewable.
It's still a car. It just doesn't use gas.
But the carbon footprint still has to come place for that energy that is burned. Now, instead of having a carbon footprint spread across the highway, it's isolated at the power plant where that electricity is produced. Things to think about like that. You have to think out all the parts. Critical thinking. Love the idea of green energy. Love the idea of solar, wind power. It's just not executed great yet. Fully agree that humans use too much plastic. Look at this. We're covered in plastic everywhere. I don't know what we can do about it.
Microplastics everywhere.
In your stuff.
In our food.
In your blood. It's going to be a problem. So many conspiracy theories. Goes so deep. And this is now our longest episode. Congratulations.
And I told so many stories. Too many conspiracies. And I didn't even know I know about.
You don't even know what you don't know. You don't even know what you know. How are you supposed to trust anybody else?
I don't know. Can't trust anyone.
Question brought.
Question answered. Fourth time's a charm. Fifth?
A production of Wayward Things Network.